Hi, it's Stacy with As the Tea Brews. Today I have a little bit of a different kind of video for you. I want to talk about my tea plans for the upcoming year. I've accumulated quite a few tins of tea, and I've been going into my pantry lately, and I look around and there's just certain teas that I reach for all the time, and there's some that I just have enjoyed but I just don't love and I just don't reach for them. And so every time I go in there and I look at those teas that I have in there that I just don't really find myself reaching for, I feel a little bit guilty, and I end up drinking those teas instead of the ones that I really want to reach for. So my goal for this year is to kind of figure out the teas that I really want to have on hand all the time, and to just get rid of the ones, or use up, not get rid of, but use up the ones that we just don't want to have all the time. It's fun to try new teas, and I do like getting new teas to try, but once we've tried them, if they're not a keeper, I feel like I'm going to try to just start using them up and not hold on to them, because the number of tins in my pantry, it's a little bit overwhelming, it's a little bit excessive, I think. So at least for my tea goals, my tea plans. So I'm gonna take you into the pantry real quick and show you what I did. But first, I wanted to say I'm sipping on my last cup of Adagio's Bonfire. This was a fun tea to try. I got this in a tea swap, and I really enjoyed drinking through the small bag that she sent me. I think it was one of their sample sizes, which you can get several mugs out of. But this is my last mug of it, and while it's been a lot of fun to try, I don't think that this is one I'm gonna keep ordering. And so I feel like that is a common theme with a lot of the seasonal teas and a lot of flavored teas that I've collected over the last couple of years. Okay, let's go. Okay, so if you've seen some of my other videos, you might have seen where I store my tea before, and I have some tea bags. This is full of tea bags. I used to drink a lot of tea bags, and then we got into Teavana several years ago, and then David's tea, and we have a few other kinds of loose tea in here, but mostly we just reach for the loose tea. So tea bags are some things that I want to start using up, and I have my matchas and green teas, and I have black teas and oolongs, and then I have all of my non-caffeinated teas, the rooiboses, the fruit and herbal infusions. And then I've got some little sample bags, some bags that haven't made it into tins yet. But what I did is I sat down with my computer in here and I typed up a list. And I typed up a lot of teas. All the teas that I had, I just started over here and I had a scale. I weighed an empty tin, and then I kind of just subbed it out to 0, and then I weighed the full tins. And most of my tins are one of two kinds, and so it was pretty easy to do for most of them. I've got these from World Market, Cost Plus, and then I've got the David's tins. I did have a couple other ones that made it a little trickier to measure. What that made me realize is that while I have a large variety of tea, I don't have much tea in most of them. I do have a few that have a lot in them, but those are usually ones that we really liked, and so I bought several bags. But my goal is to just start working through the teas that I don't love and don't feel like we have to have. Like this magic potion, it was fun to try. It doesn't taste bad, but it's just not one that we're going to reach for. And so the last few days I've been trying to use that one up, and I think I have about 1 mug left of that, so that's going to be hitting the highway, so to speak. And so I've narrowed down my list to just a few teas, in my opinion, are ones that I want to keep on hand, and the rest we're just going to be working through. So we're going to go back over to my tea spot and we'll talk some more. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you guys were the teas that I decided I really want to have on hand all the time. And starting with, we'll start with the green teas. I really enjoy drinking a matcha. I don't love the matcha plain, and so far my favorite matcha has been a blueberry flavored matcha. I really enjoy that fruitiness mixed with the matcha, and so I think that the blueberry matcha from David's Tea, along with just a basic standard ceremonial type matcha, will be my two standards for matcha in my collection. And I have Grand Cru matcha from David's Tea right now, but I don't love that one. I have some redemptions from David's Tea, and I almost put in another redemption for that because it's a $30 tea. But then I thought, well, I didn't mark it as my must-have, so I think I'm just going to use that one up, and then I'll end up buying the ceremonial matcha from David's Tea, or I really like the matcha from Adagio, so one or those two will be my must-have keepers. Let's see, I do have a Genmaicha powder, which is also on my must-have list. I love it. It's so good. I love the Genmaicha flavor, that toasted rice and the green tea. And that one is from Tea Zanti. It's a local tea shop. Well, it's about 45 minutes from us, but I got it pretty locally. And I have not tried anything like that anywhere else, and I really love it, and it mixes up and blends up like a matcha does. And so that's on my must-have list. Along with that, a Genmaicha chai is also, or a Genmaicha green tea is also one of my must-haves. So I have both right now. I have some tea bags, which I'll probably use up and buy a loose tea version of the Genmaicha green tea. But I also have a Genmaicha chai from Kepin Tea, and I really enjoy that tea as well. And that one I really like iced and hot. The matchas, mostly I drink them iced, but I do like the ones that I listed hot as well. So the other green teas, and this kind of surprised me because I think a good portion of the teas that I picked for my must-haves are green teas, and I wouldn't have expected that. But so Dragon Pearls from David's Tea, I believe is discontinued, but it's like a jasmine hand-rolled tea, green tea with jasmine flavoring in it, and I really, really like that. I like it better than their Silk Dragon Jasmine, I think it's called, which is one that I'm currently trying to use up. I only have another cup or two of that one, and it's good. It's just more perfumey than the Dragon Pearls is. And so maybe you guys can tell me. I haven't tried, I think it's the Zen Pearls and the Butterfly Jasmine. I'm curious to try those from David's Tea. I think I might end up using two of my redemptions to try those because they are a little bit more expensive. But I'm hoping one of those will replace the Dragon Pearls that I really, really love. So a jasmine green tea is my must-have. Kashmiri chai and North African mint from David's Tea. Those are my next two must-have teas, and I just really, really love them. They're both very spicy and flavorful, and they're good. They're just really good. I just really like those teas. So what I discovered is I didn't pick one black tea for my must-have. So I only have a handful of black teas, but those are all ones I'm just going to use up and probably never buy again. I know a lot of people love black tea. I don't know, something about them, it just doesn't appeal to me, and they just don't feel good on my stomach, and I just don't reach for them. So I don't have any black teas on my list. Chocolate Rocket is a mate from David's Tea. My husband and I both, well, he likes all of these ones that I'm going to mention as well. But that's one that we really, really like if we want a little extra energy in the morning, or he takes that one to work a lot. It's like a chocolate raspberry flavor without tasting artificial, because some of the flavored teas just taste really artificial to me, and I just don't love them. But we really like Chocolate Rocket, and that's a mate, so that's on the list. Longevity from Kepin Tea is a white tea, and I believe it has either pomegranate or cranberry flavoring in it. I think it might be pomegranate, I can't remember. But it's a lovely tea, hot or iced, and I really like that one. And one of the things that appeals to me about that one, along with a couple other teas on here, is that it's very natural. It doesn't have the artificial sweeteners or all the artificial flavorings, and it just tastes very nice by itself, and I don't have to add anything to it, and so it's just a nice tea. And that's what I find that I'm reaching for, that I would like to reach for the most without the pressure of having all the other teas in my pantry. The next tea is Orange Glazed Cranberry Scone from the Necessities. I love this tea. It is so good. It is a white tea, and it's very light and delicate, and it's just lightly orangey, lightly cranberry, and it just always feels good, always tastes good. It's just a delicious tea. I love that one. Another white tea is from David's Tea, Cardamom Macchiato. Every time I have that tea, I just love it. My husband, every time he has it, he says he loves it. And so for now, I don't know if that's one that'll always be on our must-have list, because it is a little bit more of a particular flavor. But for now, we really love that one. So I'm keeping that one on our must-have list. Turmeric Oolong from Kepin Tea is one that I really, really enjoy. And it's just a very simple oolong with some turmeric, and I can't think of what the other flavor is in there, but it's really good, especially with a little bit of honey, and I've really enjoyed it iced and hot. That's the only oolong I picked. I have a question mark by Zest Wishes. I really like Zest Wishes, but I'm wondering if it's more of a seasonal taste to me. It has that cinnamon, very strong cinnamon flavor to it, and orange. I'm gonna have a couple more cups of it and decide if it's on my must-have list. If it is, that might be tricky, because I don't think that they will always have it at David's Tea, and so it may be one that I'll need to buy a few bags of if we decide we want that one in our rotation all the time. So I have a couple other seasonal teas on my must-have list. Baby Spice from Bird and Blend. This was actually the first year this last fall that they actually had that tea. It was a version of, they had I think pumpkin pie spice is their black tea with the pumpkin pie flavors. And so they made a decaf version, which is Baby Spice. It is not overly spicy, and it does not have the artificial sweeteners in there. It just tastes like a nice, subtly spiced pumpkin tea. And so it was really, really delicious to me. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it again, so I hesitate to put it on my must-have list. I hope that they sell it again, and if so, I will buy more of it. In contrast, I just want to throw out there, in contrast, I know a lot of people love Monster Mash from David's Tea, and I did really enjoy that one at first, but now when I have it, there's this overly sweet kind of artificial taste to me in there, and that just bothers me and turns me off from that one a little bit, and where Baby Spice doesn't have that, and it just tastes more pumpkin-y to me rather than spicy. I have gingerbread on my seasonal maybe list because we really, really like that one as well. Okay, so then the rest of the ones that I'm going to mention are on my must-have list, and that's Forever Nuts from David's Tea. I love that tea. People love, my kids love making lattes with it. I prefer it just straight. That one needs to be brewed for a long time, but it's just really delicious. Caramel Corn from David's Tea. I love that tea. It's so sweet and good and fruity and just really delicious. I have Peppermint Amour from David's Tea. Really, it could be any kind of loose leaf peppermint, probably. I just really enjoy a peppermint tea sometimes. And then I have Lay Digestive from David's Tea on my list. I drink that one several times a week, and it really helps to settle my stomach. And I don't know that it has the best flavor, but I enjoy it, and it really makes me feel good. And then, so those are the ones that I picked first. And that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that was 15. 18 if I include those seasonal maybes. I'm not sure about those yet, but that's 15 to 18 teas out of 50 on my first page. So I have a lot of teas to start using up that I just don't really need to have. Some of them are just really occasional, like, you know, they sound occasionally good. So do we keep those on hand? I don't know, maybe a few, but I don't think I need quite so many. And then I did go back and pick, because I didn't originally, but I picked 3 more teas that I really like iced. But I feel like the iced teas will rotate a lot depending on maybe new teas that come out every year, and I don't feel like I have to stock up on those. But I picked just peachy, frozen raspberry, and strawberry lemonade from David's Tea. I really like all 3 of those iced. They're very refreshing and good. Okay, so So yeah, I think those are my must-haves. So that would be, if I include the seasonal and the ice, that's 21 teas. 21 teas out of my 62 tins. So I think my plan for this year is to slowly but surely just use up those teas that are not on my must-have list, and then allow myself the occasional new tea to try. But if we don't love them, I don't want to keep holding on to them thinking, well, maybe we'll drink them sometime. I just want to have less teas in there to choose from. I think maybe a good goal might be about half of those, so maybe limit it to about 30 to 40 different types of tea. Does that sound like a lot? I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that sound like too many teas? I do like variety, but I also don't want to feel that guilt of having those teas in there and not drinking them. So I want to just have everything in there, just things that bring me joy. I want them all to just be delicious, ones that we love, and that we can just grab any of them and we would love them. So, all right, that's my thoughts for my tea plans this year. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.